Hi, welcome to Long Island Naturally. I'm Mary Musi. Even though there isn't any fluoride in Long Island's tap water, chances are your family is getting regular doses from many other sources. It's in your infant's formula, your child's juice and sodas, and your own bottle of beer and cup of tea. But there's growing evidence that rather than protecting our teeth, fluoride is damaging them and our thyroids as well. My guests are among the nearly 2,000 professionals who are urging Congress to stop water fluoridation. They're elder law attorney Paul Beeber of Hicksville and holistic dentist Len Fazio from Port Jefferson. Thank you both for joining me.
Pleasure.
Glad to be here,
Mr. Beeber,
Mary.
let me start with you. Just in case some people are wondering, why should anyone really be concerned about this issue? We know our water's not fluoridated.
Well, the key here is total fluoride intake. When you start to measure the amount of fluoride in your food sources, in tea, water, beer, infant formula now, you're getting a much larger dose than even the 1 part per million that the EPA says is okay.
Mr. Beeber, most people still think that fluoride is good for us, and yet even the CDC admits there are traces of heavy metals like arsenic, copper, and lead in the chemicals used in the fluoridation process. How can that be?
Well, the question is, where do you get the fluoride from? And it comes from the smokestacks of industry. You see,
The smokestacks of industry.
Yes. Under the EPA rules, a fluoride-emitting industry like phosphate or aluminum can't allow that smoke to go out of its the fluoride to leave the smokestack. So they have instruments that catch and capture the fluoride, and then they sell it to us so we can become the human filters.
Oh my goodness, okay. I'm sure most people don't know that. But isn't fluoride naturally occurring, so why are we using the residue of the aluminum industry?
Well, fluoride is naturally occurring in various areas, but most areas are minimal, 1 part per million, 2 parts per million of fluoride. When you but when you get to areas where there's fluoridation, then you're looking at 6 or 7 parts per million.
Dr. Fazio, do you have any idea how most people came to believe that fluoride is healthy for us?
I think that most people unwittingly were the subject of some information that convinced them that this would be in their best interests for themselves and for their children, with virtually no scientific evidence to prove that.
We're spending $25 million in New York City to fluoridate when it's absolutely unnecessary because there is no benefit.
That's a shocking figure, I'm sure, to most people. $25 million to fluoridate the water?
Oh, sure. There's the cost throughout the United States is over $180 million. So if you were a phosphate supplier or an aluminum producer and you had to destroy this hazardous waste product, it would cost you $180 million to put it into the ground someplace. But instead, they're able to sell it to us. We become the human filters of this fluoride poison, and it costs us $180 million besides. It's a great deal for them.
Okay, we're going to have to talk about that when we come back. We need to take a break. So what is the impact of fluoride on your health? That's the topic of today's Long Island Naturally, so please stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Long Island Naturally. I'm Mary Musi, and my guests are holistic dentist Dr. Len Fazio and elder law attorney Paul Beeber. Our topic is the growing controversy over fluoride. So, Mr. Beeber, you were saying that there's some concern that fluoride is not just innocent and perhaps expensive, but also toxic. That these
That's
you said
right.
something about the California Environmental Protection
Proposition
Agency?
65 in California says that the Environmental Protection Agency is supposed to form a group, which it has, to explore various toxins in their state. And they're supposed to explore 38 different toxins, and the first 5 that they're going to explore, one of them is fluoride and its salts.
I believe you once told me that hip fracture patients used to get doused with fluoride, but now the AMA has stopped that practice.
Yes, many years ago, I think it was in the 80s, since they knew that fluoride was a hardener, they decided that they would give women who have bone problems, a hardener to strengthen their bones. Well, they ended up really killing these women because they were, what happened was they were giving them doses of 45 parts per million, and that changed the bone density of their bones and made them weaker, not stronger. And finally, there was an article in the AMA saying, don't do this anymore.
Okay, there's a possibility that some of those women may have died from such a high dose.
Oh, sure.
In fact, Dr. Fazio, isn't it true that every tube of toothpaste that has fluoride in it has a warning on the label? Absolutely,
absolutely it does, because the toxic effects of fluoride are well documented. If a child swallows the equivalent of about a pea size of toothpaste, parents are instructed to call their emergency room, take them to the emergency room, or call the poison control center, local poison control center, because somehow that fluoride needs to be neutralized immediately before it has this potentially toxic, or even in a strong case, a deadly effect.
It's 1,250 to 1,500 parts per million of fluoride in every toothpaste.
Wow, okay. Welcome back. I'm here with elder law attorney Paul Beeber and holistic dentist Len Fazio. Isn't it true, Mr. Beeber, that if fluoride is in our water supply, that it's also in our food that's grown with the water?
Of course. Anything that goes, you make Coca-Cola in a fluoridated area, it's going to have fluoride in it.
But it could be in our lettuce, it can be in our green beans.
Absolutely, and the more you fluoridate areas with the water supply, the more you have various food sources being treated with this fluoride chemical. And remember that just the other day we received information that the European Court of Justice has ruled on fluoride and said that it is a medicine and it cannot be put into any food source that is going to go in the European Union.
Wow. So is any of the water fluoridated there?
Very few. The only place that there is fluoridated water that I know of was part of England. And so that part of England cannot send food to other parts of the European Union because of this ruling.
Now, Dr. Fazio, you were saying earlier that the truth is it's a medicine, and we're getting it, all of us.
That's exactly right. Fluoride is not being added to the water supply as a water purifier or water conditioner. It's being added to the water supply as a mass medication. And this is illustrating a large-scale medication of the population without a truly informed consent.
Right.
Well,
okay.
And remember that fluoride itself, since it is a medication, you should have a doctor's prescription.
Well, the other point I wanted to make was that it's affecting our thyroids as well as our teeth and our bones, and that unfortunately it blocks the absorption of iodine, which is an essential nutrient for our thyroid. And apparently we're getting so much of it, how can any of us be absorbing the iodine we need? Which may be one reason why so many people have low thyroids, and in many cases undetected low thyroids.
Well, you're giving people a medication, and it's an enzyme poison. And the easiest.
What does that mean, an enzyme poison?
Okay, when you brush your teeth with fluoride, using fluoride, it's killing all the bacteria in your mouth.
Okay.
And it's doing that because it poisons the enzymes in that bacteria. And therefore, they all die out, and that's why your teeth seem to do okay. Okay? But ingesting it is like ingesting suntan lotion to beat a sunburn. It's ridiculous. Why do that? Put it on topically if you really want to have it.
Actually, we're out of time. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for watching. Remember to tune in each Monday for my weekly reports on natural health and alternative medicine. I'm Mary Musi. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.